we people use that cliche being book smart and street smart. There's something to be said about that because we talk about street preachers.
Yes.
You know, the streets will preach, right? And having the knowledge and I'll say this: people talk about the hood and the ghetto, and it's no different than any other barrio. I'll say that.
Okay.
Any other neighborhood. People still love. People still have children.
For sure.
People still have to work. It's just geography. And it wasn't until someone put a stamp on it to be different, right?
That it became.
But it's the same. You got kids, I got kids, right? You may be married, I'm married, right? I got a wife, you got a husband, that kind of thing. So I think, when we have people, and I'm not trying to really go off on a tangent here, but when we have people who have placed themselves in a particular position of hierarchy, that's when the entire map changes, if that makes sense.
Yes. And so I think that's important. We were talking about imagery and self-images when we started the conversation earlier. And I think the power of that is some people can begin to dehumanize you based on that.
Martin
you know
Luther
what I'm
King
saying?
Talked about that.
Yeah, and that's why you have to be able to control your own imagery because you know and just spoke to those human qualities that are there no matter what. And that in Savannah, in particular, I can flip that a few ways because large part of my life I had the privilege of growing up in suburbia. And when I say the privilege, it was just because sometimes it may be safer and the schools had better opportunities, that part of it. But some of my cousins who were in another part of town, they felt love from their neighbors that I didn't necessarily feel because my neighborhood, the people on the street were looking like, yeah, you my neighbor, but the extent was a hand wave. You know what I'm saying? So we're not really, connected, even though the houses may look better and different things like that. So it's so much going out of different neighborhoods where my grandmother stayed at in Savannah, where I went to school at, and I began to get a sense of, how people are the same no matter where they're at in terms of that human experience. Those differences that are there, I just think I had an appreciation for them, at a really, really young age, like even down to the way people talk in certain instances. And then going back to, Savannah in particular, when it talks about self-imagery, one of the things I tried to highlight in the book is I don't think that it's not anything. I know we didn't know how to control that or have the power to control that more, even from in the school system, because something just like Gullah Geechee culture, which is a major cultural experience and history and legacy in the area, we're going to school and never hearing anything about that, never being highlighted, never saying, hey, the way you talk is because of this, and those kind of things that I think would have fundamentally gave us a lot more pride in who and what we are. And then once you have that pride, I think you will fight more to make sure that it is what you were saying earlier, more controlled.